Previously on the Yummy Project, we had Emma teach us how to prepare a classic chocolate cupcake. Next on the Yummy Project, we will have Brittney teaching us how to prepare a French coconut pie. Hi, my name is Brittney and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to teach you how to prepare a very simple French coconut pie. We are first going to start off by baking our pie crust. In order to do that, we need a mixture of flour, sugar, and salt. You can sieve it, but I'm a lazy baker, so I just pour everything inside. And now we're also going to add our ice cold butter. I actually kept this in the freezer for about 2 hours before preparation. So you're going to just pour that inside. Okay, and now you need 7 tablespoons of ice cold water. I start off with adding 6, mix for a little bit, and then add the last one when it's almost ready. Okay, so added 6 tablespoons of the water, and now I'm just going to start off with using clean hands and combining all the ingredients as best I can. It's a bit messy, but you're going to knead it until it forms a smooth dough. You can also use an electric mixer if you like. Since the butter is ice cold, you're going to have to punch it down a little bit so it's a bit easier for you to mix. But the key to a good flaky pie crust is using cold ingredients so often. Okay, so at this stage the dough is almost completely well combined. So I'm going to add the last tablespoon of your ice cold water, and then I'm going to continue kneading for some time. So at this stage the dough is well combined, so we're just going to pop it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes so it can get ice cold again. We're going to start off by making the coconut filling. So you're going to start off with 3 whole eggs, but you want to beat them before you pour them in. Okay, once the eggs are beaten, you want to pour it into your mixing bowl. Now you want to add your vanilla and vinegar combination, your unsalted butter that's been melted and cooled, and now you're just going to mix all your wet ingredients. So you really want to make sure that that butter is cooled so it doesn't cook the egg. So now once that's combined, you want to add your 1.5 cup sugar and mix that in. And also the hot butter would melt the sugar and you want it to have a grainy texture. Okay, now you want to add in your coconut shavings. So the recipe itself calls for 1 cup of coconuts, but I like mine to be a little denser, so I'm gonna add a bit more. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Now your coconut filling is finished, and let's go check on that pie crust that's in the freezer. Okay, so we just took the pie crust out of the freezer, and now we're going to roll it and prepare it for our baking pan. Before or as you roll, you want to put the pan you're going to bake the pie in the freezer. So we're going to knead out the dough and get it as flat as we like. Okay, so now that it's all out, sprinkle your counter with some flour and then sprinkle some flour on top so it doesn't stick. Now flour your rolling pan. gonna sprinkle some more. And now I like to beat it down a little bit. Some people like a thicker crust, but I like mine to be a bit more thin and crunchy. So I'm just gonna roll it out. So right now I'm just trying to even it as best as I can before rolling, because if some parts are a little bit thinner than the rest, when you pre-bake it, it's gonna burn and you don't want to spoil your pie. So now the pie crust is at the thickness that I like, so I'm just going to put my pie pan on top to make sure that it's going to fit inside. And now here's the hard part. You're gonna carefully try to lift it from the surface and place it inside. Make sure all the sides have the same, so it bakes evenly. Okay, so now that we have fitted our pie crust into the container, we're gonna pop it in the freezer again for about 10 to 15 minutes. And this is the most essential part, because that way it's gonna keep the butter up. And if you put it in the freezer while the pie crust is still room temperature, once you actually bake it, there's just a higher potential that the sides will fall down. So you wanna keep a tall pie, so let's pop it in the freezer for a bit. Okay, so we just got the pie crust out of the freezer, and now you want to move as quickly as possible because you need to put this in the oven while it's still ice cold. But we are going to do something called blind baking, which we're going to bake the crust before we actually pour the filling inside. So in order for us to do that, you're going to get a piece of aluminum foil, and now you're going to fit it inside the container. You want to make sure it's covering all the corners and all the sides evenly. Because if you don't, the bottom of the pie crust itself will bubble over like a cake on top, and we don't want any air going through it at all. So we have just some white rice that we poured into our foil, and we're going to add. So the crust has been in the oven for about 30 minutes. So it's starting to look golden brown. We're just going to remove the rice and pop it back in the oven for 3-4 minutes before we pour the filling. And now you're gonna pop this in the oven for an hour, but I would have a look at it about 45 minutes in. You're waiting for it to have a golden color complexion on the top, and you don't want your edges to burn. Okay. Okay, and that's how you make a French coconut pie. Hi, my name is Brittney, and I am the creator of Alma Sweets, a cake brand, and I bake and I decorate cakes for different events and anything at all. But full-time, I am a product manager for Google, and part-time, I decorate cakes on the weekend. I would say it's because growing up, my grandma, she loved baking cakes. Even though it was only one recipe she would make and there was no decorations on it, I just got used to the habit of Sundays and Saturdays are baking days. So after she moved to Ghana and I was in the US, I decided to come up with my own recipes and make fun things. Like, for example, the first cake I remember making, it was so terrible, it tasted like a pancake, but my mom insisted I bring it to church and share with everyone. So I think it was just like the confidence of my family and the influence of my grandma that made me want to bake and decorate. Good. Okay, I would say I think it's the business aspect, because I feel as if Now I'm no longer like trying new things because I get so caught up in every weekend I have to do this order and this order. It's like I'm now in the cycle of just repeating different cake designs people want, and like I haven't really got to exercise like my talent and try new skills. So I think just taking time away from like, it's not all about the money, and just going back to doing what I love with just trying new different designs and new recipes and just having fun with it. Yeah. It's because I'm the best. I don't think anyone bakes cake like how I can bake a cake, so I feel as if everyone needs to taste my cake, so I have to share it with as many people as possible. I love to read. I read a lot. And that's it, reading and eating. I know this is so cliche, but it would definitely be to read minds, because I feel like it would just save me a lot of stress if I could just know what the other person is thinking. I'm studying international business right now, so nothing cake related at all. Do you know what Sam's Club is? Sam's Club, it's a wholesale store back home, and I can't lie, they're the only people I can say they're better than mine, but I wouldn't say that too loudly. But I would definitely, if it wasn't from myself, I would go get a cake from Sam's Club. But in Ghana, I would go to Frankie's, because I think their cake is very nice. Oh, Coco Lounge, and I'm so sad that it's closed now because they have this short rib fried rice on their menu. So they, not only is it fried rice with like tender meat, but they also chop ripe fried plantain and they fry it with the rice as well. It's incredible, it's so good. Thank you so much for having me on the Yummy Project by Foodie Diaries. I had the best time, and next time I'm in Ghana, I can't wait to come for round 2. You can follow me on my cake page at Alma's Sweets. Thank you.